working on a toilet out of the house. It's about 20 years old and it's just not flushing good anymore. If you can look here, this is the tank that holds the water, and when you pull the handle, the flapper comes up and water goes through the big hole at the bottom. That water comes in here when this tank is on top of the toilet, and it gets around the edge of the bowl, and there are water jets up in here, some around on these edges, and it gets a swirling motion, and then as the water gets full, it naturally goes down and up, and then on this toilet it comes out the bottom right here and goes through the wall. Now this toilet stopped flushing well, and I can't buy them in town because it's a different design, and if I can order one it costs about 500 bucks for both of them, so I figured I'd give it a try using some chemical I got at the local hardware store. It's interesting, skull and crossbones, must be potent stuff, and I've been soaking it for yesterday and today, and then going back with a scrubber and scrubbing the areas, scrubbing the water jets up in here and any place where I found lime. Now some of the places I had to use a harder scraper to get some of the crud off. It was quite gross, and a place you really don't enjoy sticking your face in, but all these areas have to be cleaned. And this water is kind of a gross color because it's got the chemical in it, and it's eating away the lime and the junk that has been collected over the years. This is an interesting thing. Most people don't think about restoring a toilet, but I've found in life that most things can be restored, but it takes a process. I had to stick my face in a place that most people don't want to have their face in, and it was heavy, it was gross, and it took a lot of time. And in life, we as people can get limed up. Our hearts can become hardened. The more that we tell God no, and the more that we fail to love one another, we get this crusty stuff. Like, look down in here. You can see the white part is what used to be new, and the gross yellow stuff, that is calcium deposits from our hard water. Your heart can become like that. The more you tell people no, the more you fail to love one another, especially the more you tell God no when He's calling you to do things the way He would want you to do. Your heart can become hardened, so much so that you stop and you fail to function as you should. And the restoration process can be painful, it can be gross, and it could take some pretty harsh moments in life to actually eat away the crust. And that can be a number of things. It could be a heart attack, it could be cancer, it could be loss of a loved one, loss of a job, but God allows those things for us to get our attention. And God may be calling you to help someone in life, and you may have a loved one or a friend whose heart has become hardened, and they're just not the person that they once were, and they've become bitter or very sad, very selfish, and maybe God's calling you to help them. And if that person is asking for help, it may take putting your nose in a place that is stinky, and you may not like it, but to be part of a restoration process is good, and it makes you realize that you yourself can become hardened, and that there's gross stuff in your life, and it's a gross process, but when it's all put back together, it's wonderful to see things being used as they once intended. So in this toilet, I have the chemicals to clean out the crud, a lot of elbow grease, taking it all apart, exposing everything to see what's wrong. When I noticed the bottom of this porcelain has this crack, it's possible that this may need to be thrown away. It may not be able to be fixed. But I'm going to try some putty and some adhesive to put that together, and we'll just see. But if I didn't take this toilet apart, I wouldn't have seen this crack. And there may be something in your life where you realize that you're just not the person you once were, and you don't function like you used to. And maybe that surgery, maybe that cancer diagnosis, or that loss of job is exposing what's really broken in your life. And the good news is, if you allow God to open you up and examine you, you can find things that you never knew were once there. And God can begin to work on you if you allow Him to. Now, I am no plumber. I am just cleaning it up as best I can, and we'll see how it goes. But I also bought the new plumbing pieces for here, and the new bolts and washers, and the new gasket up in here. So I'll come back and show you those pieces as I put them together, because since I have all this apart, this is the time to change out this piece while it's all taken apart. So we'll see how it goes, but what I'm hoping to encourage folks is that there are things in life that people would just want to throw away and say it's no good anymore. But if you allow someone to work on it, it can become useful again. And if you allow God to work on your heart and in your life, you can become better than you ever expected that you could be. So we have the completed toilet. We have the new drain area, 2 new bolts, new flapper valve, and it's assembled on the wall, and a new seal for the plumbing. So before, the commode would not flush, it would not swirl and empty. So we'll see what it looks like with new parts. You see, it's all clean, got swirling motion, and the toilet flushes now. So looks like a good cleaning, and new parts sure made it work well.